Hello, friends. Today we are going to talk about a movie that has everything: horror, drama, romance, revenge, everything that makes a film truly captivating. This movie is set against the backdrop of the Russia-Ukraine war and highlights the atrocities committed by Russian soldiers on Ukrainian women during that time. The story begins on a dark, eerie night where a woman, heavily wounded, is running through a dense forest, trying to escape from someone. In her desperate flight, she stumbles upon a house with red lights glowing from within. Before she can make sense of what is happening, a dark shadow appears and attacks her, lifting her from the garden. The entity speaks the name Andrei, and as soon as the woman hears it, she wakes up terrified from what she thought was a nightmare. Even though it was just a horrifying dream, Olena becomes extremely frightened. She can't understand why the entity in her dream uttered the name Andrei and why it was so significant. Feeling disturbed, Olena turns to her fiancé, whose name is Andrei. The two of them are deeply in love, spending joyous moments together, and are soon to be married. They live in Ukraine, enjoying their time. One morning, Andrei prepares breakfast for Olena before leaving for work. But the disturbing dream still lingered in Olena's mind, so she calls her aunt, Yevdokia, to share her concerns. Olena tells her aunt about the nightmare, where death came for Andrei, which deeply worries Yevdokia. She advises Olena that it's time to send Andrei away to safety, and that Olena knows best where and how to send him. Later we see Olena and Andrei together, both very happy as it's their anniversary. They celebrate with a small party, expressing their love and feelings for each other. However, their joy soon turns into despair because it's the year 2022, and Russia invades Ukraine. Russian soldiers storm the country, capturing civilians and government authorities. The ordinary people of Ukraine, including Olena and Andrei, are terrified and hide in their homes. In an attempt to save themselves, Olena and Andrei decide to flee, but by then, Russian soldiers have taken over almost every part of Ukraine. Olena suggests they go to her aunt Yevdokia's house, as it is located far away from the urban area, deep in the forest in a secluded place. This house had been there since World War times, and no soldiers had ever reached it. Olena insists on going there, and Andrei, agreeing with her, decides to follow her lead. As Olena and Andrei are driving, a group of Russian soldiers stops their car and starts interrogating them. They search the car and ask several questions. Andrei tries to handle the situation calmly to avoid trouble, but the soldiers begin to misbehave with Olena. Andrei, determined to get away from this tense situation, decides to stay silent and remains composed. Despite their questioning, the soldiers refuse to let them go. Instead, they demand Olena from their chief, wanting to exploit her. The chief agrees to their request, and soon after, the soldiers approach Olena, attempting to touch her. Seeing this, Andrei's anger erupts, and he begins shooting at the soldiers, trying to protect Olena and escape from the dangerous situation. In the attack, one soldier is killed, while another soldier is severely injured with a gunshot wound to his leg. Despite the chaos, Olena and Andrei manage to escape and reach Yevdokia's house. Once there, Olena quickly pulls her dog out of the car, as the dog was also injured during the gunfire. She hands the dog over to her aunt for treatment. However, as she examines the blood on her hands, Olena notices that Andrei is also wounded. She rushes to him and sees that he has been shot, and his condition is critical. Olena tries to tend to his injuries, but it's too late. Andrei's wound is so deep that he succumbs to it. Olena, heartbroken, watches her love die in her arms. She desperately tries to save him, but it's clear that Andrei's time has come. Death, as she had seen in her nightmares, takes him away, and this horrifying reality confirms the dreams she had been haunted by. Meanwhile, the soldiers who had attacked Andrei and Olena are seen behaving as if nothing happened. Without any remorse, they gather their necessary supplies from the dead soldiers, and those who are injured receive treatment, completely indifferent to the death and destruction around them. For Olena, accepting Andrei's death is nearly impossible. She breaks down in tears, gazing at his lifeless body. Her grief overwhelms her, and seeing her in such a distressed state, Aunt Yevdokia approaches her, trying to console her. She tells Olena that everything will be all right. However, Olena, unable to find any comfort, replies, "I don't want anything to be fixed, I just want Andrei." Olena continues, saying that she has lived many lives, witnessed countless wars, and lost many people. But losing Andrei is the hardest. For the first time, she had felt love as a normal girl, with Andre by her side. But that happiness was ripped away from her. Olena decides that she will not allow the people responsible for Andre's death to live in peace. She vows to make their lives so miserable that death will seem like a relief to them. She declares that she will make them suffer, torturing them until they beg for death. With this resolution, Olena leaves the room. Aunt Yevdokia tells her to cremate Andre's body, while she herself heads to a secret wall inside the house. She uses a small pot to break open the wall and reveals a hidden chamber filled with black magic and supernatural items, dangerous and powerful. Olena steps into the chamber and stands in front of a magical mirror. One by one, she begins to remove her clothes, preparing for what's to come. Here we see that Olena has tattoos on both wrists. However, when she looks into the magical mirror, these tattoos appear as chains. Olena, determined and focused, uses her power to cut and break these chains. As she does so, she releases the supernatural energy that she had left behind for Andre, spreading it around her. This marks a significant moment in her transformation, as she taps into these dark forces to seek vengeance and power. Changes begin to take place within Olena's body, as a powerful energy flows through her. With this newfound strength, Olena transforms into a much more powerful and dangerous version of herself. She is now fully prepared to take on her enemies. Olena is no longer just an ordinary girl. She is a witch, one who had distanced herself from the world of witches to live a peaceful life with Andre. But after losing him, she returns to the world of dark magic, seeking vengeance. Meanwhile, the Russian soldiers are seen discussing their situation. Their chief informs them that food supplies will not arrive because the Ukrainian forces have intercepted the food truck. He tells the soldiers that they are now free to do whatever they want, including killing anyone in their way to get food. Hearing this, the soldiers become excited and scatter, eager to find food in any way possible. Some soldiers go to a house to look for food where an old man tries to chase them away, but these Russian soldiers kill the old man and force their way into his house where they see the old man's daughter Katya. Seeing Katya, the soldiers try to capture her, but Katya somehow escapes from them and starts running away from there. But it is of no use because these soldiers soon make her unconscious, and one soldier takes advantage of the situation and starts doing bad things with Katya. When Katya feels it, she regains consciousness and starts screaming loudly, but this soldier does not show any mercy on her. On the other hand, some soldiers start shooting at a house for fun. Who performs a ritual with blood? This was done on the soldier whom Ander shot and lost one leg. Due to this ritual, the soldier's Kazmian gets injured even more. It is very painful and it was very difficult to bear. And then a bunch of hair and a piece of paper is taken out from the soldier's mouth, on which it was written that this forest will become the grave of all of you. After reading and seeing all this, the soldier gets very scared and his condition becomes so bad that he dies right there. Meanwhile, the chief also sees Olena covered in blood in his dream, who talks about killing all of them. Seeing this, the chief becomes quite frightened and orders the soldiers to take Katya away from there. Following the chief's orders, the soldiers throw Katya in an isolated area. It is here that Olena also arrives and approaches Katya, asking her if she wants revenge. Katya doesn't answer, but the pain hidden in her eyes speaks volumes, demanding revenge. Olena understands this without a word. Meanwhile, one soldier goes to urinate, but instead of urine, blood begins to flow. This sight disturbs him greatly. Afterward, two soldiers are shown, one of whom Olena tries to overpower. Just as she is about to kill him, she sees his family photo and hesitates, not wanting to kill him. Instead, she offers money to the second soldier, tempting him with greed. Seeing so much money on the ground, the soldier becomes tempted and moves toward it. The next morning, when all the soldiers check their phones, they all receive the same message, which reads, "Your graves will be here in this jungle." After reading this, the soldiers become alarmed, but the chief doesn't pay much attention, as he doesn't believe in ghosts or dark powers. Instead, he dismisses it as an enemy tactic and tells all soldiers to stay alert. However, one soldier then leads everyone to a part of the jungle where many wooden dolls are hanging. After this, they see one of their fellow soldiers who was tied to a tree. His hair was pulled out, his lips were sewn, and his stomach was also torn. Everyone is shocked to see his bad condition, and as soon as a soldier takes a step forward to save his friend, the soldier tied to the tree is killed in a blast because Olena had laid a bomb trap ahead of him. Seeing this, All the soldiers get angry at that soldier and say that you should not have moved forward like this. Here, we see Elena performing a powerful ritual. In this ritual, she summons a demon and then absorbs it into herself to gain its powers. When Yevdokia steps outside her house, she sees a rain of dead birds, which terrifies her. She quickly rushes to Elena, and upon seeing her realizes that Elena has gone too far in seeking revenge. This situation has become very dangerous for Elena as well. Yevdokia tries to warn her, saying that if she doesn't stop now, she will face severe consequences. But Elena refuses to listen and replies that she doesn't care about the outcome. She is willing to go to any extent for her revenge, even if it means her death. Hearing this, Yevdokia says that it was she who gave Elena a new life by turning her into a witch. And now you want to leave me alone? Elena does not listen to anyone who says Yado. Here we see a soldier who got a photo of his fan Mili. In this photo, his wife and son were covered in blood because Elena had killed both of them, and with the help of this photo, she had also performed a ritual to kill them. Seeing this, the soldier gets very scared and insists on going home to see his fan Mili. But the chief does not allow him to go to the city, so he himself takes the tank and leaves. But on the way, Elena plays mind games with him, and being trapped in this confusion of his mind, he kills 2 of his own comrades by crushing them with the tank. Seeing this, the other soldiers beat him up badly, although he tries to explain everything to them, but they do not listen to him. On the other hand, a bomb attack takes place on the camp. To escape from this, everyone scatters here and there and a soldier gets trapped in the jungle. He comes in. He is the one who killed that innocent lady, so here he starts seeing the lady's bicycle, and then the lady's ghost also starts scaring him. This soldier runs to save his life, and then the chief comes in front of him who makes a symbol on his forehead and says that it is time for you to die. That is, it was not the chief, but Elena who kills him. After killing him, Elena ruthlessly takes out his heart and goes to her home. When the other soldiers come to him and see his dead body, they are shocked because they can't believe that the enemy can go to such an extent. Here a soldier talks about supernatural power, but the chief scolds him for not believing in all this and makes him quiet. Here, when Auntie Yevdokia sees Elena eating the soldier's heart, she gets very scared and tries to make Elena understand again. But Elena hurts him and says that she needs more power. After a while, when Elena regains her senses, Yevdokia apologizes to Elena for her mistakes, and then leaves. Now, seeing Elena in her transformed state, Yevdokia begins to fear her. In her quest for revenge, Elena is not only losing her true identity but is also turning into a dark witch. That night, Elena goes to the soldiers' camp and leaves a warning for them. The next morning, when the soldiers do not find the bodies of the dead soldiers at the place, they panic and quickly go out to find the dead bodies. As they move ahead, they find the dead bodies hanging from a tree. Seeing all this, a soldier gets so scared that he kills himself because he did not want to die at the hands of Elena, so he kills himself rather than face Elena. After this, the soldier who had done wrong to Katya is shown. Insects start coming out of his private part and he starts suffering badly from pain. To save himself, he reaches Katya's house where Katya is about to kill him to take her revenge. But this soldier does not kill him in front of her. But just then this soldier picks up his gun and is about to kill Katya, but Katya kills him. On the other side, Elena is seen by all the soldiers. To catch her, everyone chases her, and 2 soldiers fight among themselves and kill each other, while the chief and other soldiers start shooting at Elena. Due to which Elena gets badly injured and she immediately comes home to save her life. Yevdokia removes the bullets from Elena's body and says that you will have to take revenge for every death yourself, and after killing the last chief, you will also be finished because Elena had made the same deal. Yevdokia still asks to stop this game here, but Elena does not agree. One by one, Elena kills all the soldiers, but the chief does not come under her control. Instead, he catches Elena and starts doing bad things with her. But then we see that Elena is standing behind him, that is, the person with whom he was doing wrong was his soldier. And all this was Elena's illusion. Elena starts torturing the chief and is about to kill him when Aunt Yevdokia comes here. Yevdokia tells Elena that a child is growing in your womb, and if this chief is harmed even a little, then the child will also be killed because Elena had made the same deal with Demon Devil. Yevdokia explains to her that this child is the last sign of Indri. It is the sign of your love, and this child is also the last reason for your living. After hearing all this, Olenna also calms down, but even now the chief was on her mind, which increases her anger further. But when Olenna sees her dog, she calms down completely, because both Andre and Olenna had kept the dog with great love. Olenna finally says that forgiveness is not the solution because in the end, everything will come back around. Yevodia tells her that there is no need to kill the chief and instead offers a different plan. The scene shifts to the chief, who has been driven completely insane by Yevodia. His soldiers believe that he is responsible for the death of all the soldiers, and they take him to prison. Later we see a scene where Olenna, who has now given birth to a child, begins a new life with it. Her revenge is complete, and the movie ends here. How did you find this terrifying movie? Let me know in the comments and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, bye-bye and take care.